Hello, are we live? 1212. Hello? Hello? Are we live? Let me see. Okay. My phone tells me we're live. So I will assume that we are and that you guys can see me or rather hear me. Jesus. Okay, just give me a second. Alright. Okay, there you go. Okay, perfect. Alright, so the reason why today's stream started an hour late is because I took some extra time to try to get something working, and I almost got it to work, but like not quite. Okay? So today's session is going to be one of those streams where I'm gonna do a lot of like debugging and shit, where I try to get something to work, right? So the general idea, okay, it's as you can see, I added a bunch of extra stuff. I'm gonna explain what these things are later. But for now, I just want to show you where we're at, right? So something that I decided to do that I thought might be interesting. Oh, fuck, not this. Save, there you go. I was like, okay, what happens if... Ah, for fuck's sake, hold on. Okay, there you go. I was like, what would happen if I tried to make a control scheme for the player using WASD, right? Yeah, exactly. Those are jumping routes and stuff like that, right? Like I'm going to show you guys something, but in order to properly look at these, I need to get the player controls working, right? So I was like, okay, would it be possible for me to make a WASD control scheme working uh, exactly like working using a NavMesh basically, right? So here is here's the result it's gonna give me. I'm gonna put the game window on my other monitor just so that you can see the absolute madness. Okay, hold on, just give me a moment. Okay, so for now my character more or less moves as intended, right? Hold on. My character moves more or less as intended, right? But then if I go here on a ramp, oh, it starts it starts to look weird, right? Now, why is that? It's because the actual player character got disconnected from the NavMesh agent. If you look if you look at my screen over here. Oh jeez. Yeah, there you go. Oh, now we reconnected. Perfect. Amazing. And I think it has to do with the ramps, with the fact that my player character still has a normal collider, so the ramp it's acting all weird and shit, right? Okay. so let's fix this. Actually, I don't think it needs to be fixed with the code. I think we go here into the player character and we disable the capsule collider. The rigid body use gravity. Actually no. Yeah, for now we're not gonna use gravity. Actually, we're gonna disable gravity. Okay. And now let's look at whether or not it's actually gonna fix the problem. Oh, fuck. Hold on. Okay. That's not good. Okay, hold on. Let's try and go up the ramp. Okay. Okay. We can go up the ramp. And now let's try to jump. Okay, it's not detecting the jumping things. Ugh. Also, as you can see now, because I'm using the same NavMesh agent as the enemies, the collisions are actually working, right? And the only reason I am able to move past them, more or less, is because... Oh, no, never mind. Hold on. Okay, so here, let's put priority 1. Okay, there you go. So see, now I don't have an issue moving through them because I lowered my priority way below theirs, right? Oh, hold on. You guys can't see it properly. Okay, there you go. Look at this like that, right? There you go. Okay, hold on. So actually, let's try and fix the fact that I'm... Okay, so we're gonna re-enable the capsule collider, but we're not gonna enable the rigid body, the use of gravity. Okay. Let's play it, and maybe the solution might be to have the freeze position on, but we'll see. Okay, so now we are standing upright. Hold on. Okay, no. Okay, so it's actually even worse. Okay, let's freeze these positions and let's see. Can you give us a quick explanation? Oh, yeah. From Art was at the swimming pool yesterday. Right, all right. Okay, hold on. Ugh. Fuck, hold on. Okay. Huh. Interesting, okay. So let's do this. Here I just want to see. No, okay. Okay. So then why does it keep going underneath? Hold on. Let's click on this thing, NavMesh Agent. Oh. Okay. Minus 0. No. NavMesh Agent. Offset, okay. Okay, there you go. Okay, so that... Okay. That makes sense now. Alright, so now I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna disable the capsule collider, disable gravity. Sure, whatever. Okay, we're gonna keep these frozen. So now, in theory, it should work. Okay. Let's just look here. Oh, fuck, hold on. Like that. Ah, fuck's sake. Don't tell me it's bugging out again. Okay. Hold on. Let's go here. Okay, so this should be working. God, this is so fucking annoying. Okay, base offset. The relative vertical displacement of the owning game object. Okay, so like one is about perfect height here, so I don't understand why it's not working now as intended. All right, Google, I understand the big map. Okay, well, don't worry, I'm gonna explain. I'm still gonna explain to you. I just want to fix this first, just to get it out of the way. Okay, yeah. Hold on. Okay. Okay, now it stops. Why does it stop? Fuck's sake. Okay, hold on. So first of all, we're gonna give priority 1. Auto traverse off mesh. Moves across off mesh links automatically. Auto repath. The agent will attempt to acquire a new path if the existing path becomes invalid. Yeah. Okay. So if I were to put this back to 0, would it then work? Okay, so now it works perfectly fine, right? What the fuck? Okay, so like why is it not? Okay, well, you know what? All I'm gonna do here is like that. Fuck it. Like that. Now let's see if it like fixes everything now. More or less. Okay, well, whatever. There you go, it's fixed. Okay. Okay, perfect. Now, let's just see here if it's going to work with the jumps. No. Is it going to work? Or actually, hold on. What's the difference? Okay. Hold on. Game manager here in the player. Let's go into our script just to see. Player input. Let's disable this. Actually. Hello, Moldy Crow. Hello, everybody else as well. I think I've almost got it done, and then once I've got it fixed, I'm gonna explain to you guys all of the things I've added, how they work, and the whole logic behind things and whatever, right? I'm sorry, but like, I just really want to get this done. Okay, so now that, hold on. Now that this works, okay, we're gonna move it like that. Okay. Okay, hold on. Okay. So let me just write to ChatGPT to help me make this thing happen. Okay, so now I'm gonna say, all right, I've got the WSD NavMesh movement working. However, it doesn't seem to be detecting NavMesh links that should allow it to jump across platforms. How would I go about doing so? How would I go about making it work with my code? Here's my code for reference. Okay. Yeah, hold on. We're just gonna do this like that. Let me just There's a different system that needs special handling. Key insight. NavMesh agent does not automatically traverse off-mesh links with WASD movement. Off-mesh links are only triggered when set to destination to a point that requires cross. Okay, that's what I thought. That's what I had assumed. So just pushing toward the edge without exactly. Okay. What needs to change to make jumping or falling / climbing, etc. across NavMesh links work? You need to allow the NavMesh agent to detect and begin link traversal, already handled by default. Okay. Manually handle the jump / movement across the link via animation or coroutine. Okay. Detect when the agent is on an off-mesh link using if agent is on off-mesh link. Updated movement logic with jump link. Okay, handle. If start the jump coroutine if not already doing so. Start coroutine. Blah blah blah. Oh Jesus. Bruh. Okay. Off mesh link data equals agent.current off mesh link data. Jesus. Okay. Vector 3 start position equals agent blah blah blah. Vector 3 end position equals link data dot end position plus vector up. Duration elapsed. Agent complete. Off mesh link temporarily disables built-in traversal. So you can do it ourselves. Why would we want to do it ourselves? Well, elapsed time float. Parabolic arc. Okay. I see what it's doing. It's basically creating a like custom made jumping type of script. Okay, hold on. I remember I checked a little of NavMesh years ago. I found it complicated as fuck. Now you make it look so easy. No, well, the thing is, even a year ago, NavMesh stuff was way more complicated than it is right now, and it was way less intuitive. I think it's with Unity 6. When they released Unity 6, which was like at the end of October or something like that, I think end of October last year, that's when I think they added this new NavMesh, the way NavMesh works now. That's why it's way easier, right? And that's why I'm saying Unity 6 made a shit ton of improvements, right? Okay, hold on. Be sure your NavMesh agent has auto traverse off mesh link false, optional since we're handling it. Okay, so hold on. Okay, so after reading your reply, this is what I understand. Okay, you're suggesting that we should create our own custom made code to handle the player characters jumping, right? Whereas I would rather I would rather we find a way to use the same movement as normal NavMesh agents would use for jumping between NavMesh links. Am I correct in my, and if so, does my suggestion make sense? Okay. And I'm not getting an answer. Okay, as soon as I said that exactly right. Let's break it down clearly. What I suggested, I gave you a custom jump handler, the coroutine, because when using WASD style movement, you're constantly setting new destinations every frame. That interrupts the NavMesh agent's default off-mesh link behavior, which only works when you agent.setDestination to a position across the link and then let the NavMesh agent do the work without interference. What you're asking, you'd rather leverage Unity's built-in NavMesh agent jump traversal, like how AI agents automatically jump when they hit an off-mesh link, avoid coding a custom arc or animation, just that, yes. Okay, yes, your suggestion makes total sense, but here's the catch. Why it doesn't work out of the box with WASD movement? When you do this every frame, yep, absolutely, you're never giving the agent a reason to cross the off-mesh link. You're always directing it to a nearby walkable point. Yeah, that's what I thought. Instead of letting it compute a full path that includes a jump. How to make Unity's built-in jump work. Option 1, use mouse clicks. Okay, that's what I was thinking of potentially using. This is the standard case. Just call set destination far point across gap, and Unity will plan a path, detect that a jump is needed, play the off mesh link traversal animation if you've set one. Hybrid WASD plus pathfinding. If you want WASD style control but still want Unity to handle jumping, only update destination every few frames or seconds when the movement vector changes direction. Should update. Okay, well, I think I can come up with a sort of solution in between this option and option 1, right? Which would be okay, here's what I'm thinking. Okay, we back at start. Oh, okay, I would probably get a million headaches doing this. Don't worry, guys. Once I'm done, I'm gonna explain everything to you guys, and it's gonna make way more sense, right? It's just that for now, because if only I had like an extra hour before the stream, I probably would have figured this out, and like we wouldn't be wasting time right now, right? But anyways, it is what it is. So, what I'm thinking, okay, is right now we have our WASD movement, right? Hold on. Let me put this back up here. If I press play, okay. If I press play, okay, now we're moving normally, blah, 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 right? I can move up here. Okay, come on. Jesus, okay. There you go. I can basically get up here. Oh, fuck's sake. Okay, there you go. Okay, so as we can see, it's obviously not perfect. But then also, like, we have our abilities, like our melee attack, right? We have our projectile, you know, etc., etc. And then we have our teleport. There you go. So actually, hold on. Okay, fucking hell. Okay. Come on. Okay, hold on. Okay, so it's not letting me teleport to this thing over here. Come on, bitch. Okay, so let's go back to here. Okay, and let's look at my spacebar pressed. I used abilities. Okay, player teleport. Let's go to player teleport. Vector 3, raycast, MOBA script, blah, blah, blah. Player object, yes. Yes. Equals teleport position V3. Activate. Okay, so let's test it out one more time, because now I'm just curious about something, and then I'm gonna explain to you what my plan is with regards to making a jump function, right? Okay, hold on. Okay, there you go. Okay, so now let me just do this like that. Okay, let me just test one last thing, and then I'm gonna explain to you what my idea is. Okay, like that. Okay. Okay, I actually figured out what the problem was. Let me see, because this is player movement object, right? Now player movement object, player directions, player movement object. Okay, just give me a second, because how did I rework it? Player movement object is this. Okay. But I guess because this is a NavMesh agent, it keeps like resetting it to the, okay, yeah, so that's why it's not really working as intended or whatever. That's fine. Okay, so basically the idea is, instead of doing the player teleport thing, I'm gonna have another function that is going to be basically like do the player jump or whatever. Okay, so here we're gonna do public void player jump. Okay, so just give me 5 seconds. All right. Okay, so now here's the idea, what I'm thinking, okay? This, we're gonna say like that. Okay, and then we're going to add here player movement variables is grounded boolean. Okay, so public bool is jumping bool. Okay. Beep. Wait, can you guys actually hear the beep of my AC? I'm fucking dead. Oh, Jesus. Okay, so here we have is jumping bool. Okay, so basically what I'm thinking of doing is something similar to oh wow, that's crazy. Oh well, look at that. Okay, hold on. 2018 walkthrough. Sure. Okay. Okay. Perfect. It's the exact video I used last time to highlight. Okay. So the way this game works, okay, is that it uses NavMesh. Okay. Now, obviously, it's not. How can I say? It's obviously this game isn't made in Unity. I think it's made in like its own engine or whatever. Okay. But basically, just look at the way the characters are moving. Okay, it's all done using NavMesh, right? So out here they're going up the stairs or whatever, right?
More tracks?
Okay, we don't care. Okay.
Now what?
Press circle to jump, right? So basically this is what I'm trying to do, right? It already works with the test dummies, okay? With fuck's sake. Come on, stop blue balling me. Okay. Oh, fuck's sake. Okay, it already works with the test dummies here, okay? But the reason why we can't see it is because they're programmed to be following the player, but the player can't jump on the platforms. So that's why we can't see them jump. But it already works with the test dummies, right? So if we open this back up, right? Here, right?
Now what?
Press circle. And then it's automatically gonna do this, right? So what I'm thinking is doing something similar, okay? But the way I'm thinking of coding it is that okay, initially it's gonna be very clunky, but it's gonna work. And the idea is when the player presses space, it's going to tell the character to move to that direction, basically, okay? So to that destination rather, okay? So is jumping bool, okay? So here we're gonna say if is jumping bool equals false, then do jumping, no, player jump. Okay, do player jump. And now this whole thing here, the player NavMesh movement, okay, it's going to be if is jumping equals false. Okay, then we're gonna take this whole thing here and we're gonna put it here like that, and here I'm just gonna put it 1.5, whatever. Okay, and then here what I'm gonna do is fuck, hold on. In the raycast thing, mouse coordinates, blah blah blah. Okay, player interaction indicator object. Okay, player interaction. Okay, that's what it is. Okay, dot position. Okay, so player NavMesh agent dot set destination, and we're gonna do it like that. Okay. Okay, so now let's see. Okay, and then fuck. Okay, how did we calculate whether the distance was reached? Oh, actually, let's go here. AI navigation. There you go. Okay, so I'm gonna go here. And here it's float distance to destination is going to be that position. Oh wait. Okay, player movement that transform that position, yeah, to this like that. Okay, like that. And then destination, if it's lower than 0.1 f, okay. Actually, this all the way over here. Okay. I'm probably gonna have to kind of change this a little bit. By the way, I subbed to your main channel. I hope to catch you next stream soon. Okay, well, thanks, Mart. Thanks a lot. I don't stream there often just because, I mean, I just don't have time. But, you know, so hold on. Is jumping is true. Okay. Okay, so hold on. So here, so when is jumping is false, okay? When we press space and is jumping is false, we do player jump. In player jump, we look at distance to destination, right? And hold on. And so the distance here is, here it's going to calculate the distance, blah. Okay, so I don't think this is necessary actually. All I think we need to do is this, basically. This like that, hold on, like that. Okay, and then is jumping bool is true, right? And then, okay, yeah. And then here it's if is, oh fuck's sake, bruh, if is jumping bool equals true. Okay, here is what we're gonna do. Here is, how can I calculate whether, hold on. So, agent dot acceleration agent type auto braking auto repath nope avoidance for base offset broadcast calculate path blah 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 desired velocity destination enabled equals game object has path height is active and enabled is on NavMesh is pastel is stopped. I think it is stopped that I need to, but I'm not 100% sure, so give me a second. Path and position, path pending, path status, maybe path status. Okay. Remaining distance. Okay, perfect. Okay, so if player agent dot remaining distance is lower or equal to 1.0, okay, we're gonna do is jumping bull equals false. There you go. Okay, so let's see if this works, right? So player NavMesh movement is happening in the fixed update. We have our camera follows player in the late update. And then here's spacebar, we have that. Okay, let's see if it's gonna work. Okay, no promises. Interesting. So if you type dot numerous commands, yeah, you can see basically all of your options, right? Okay, so let's see now if it's gonna work, hopefully. Hey, okay, nice. All right, so it's working. Oh, interesting. Now it's not. Ugh. Come on, bitch. Okay, hold on. Okay, come on. Okay, there you go. See? There you go. Oh. Okay. Now let's press like down there, okay? Space. There you go. There you go. Okay. So it works. Okay, perfect. Okay, so the idea is come on. Aha, there you go. Come on. Okay, perfect. So now it's working. Okay, so let me explain finally after 38 fucking minutes. Okay, let me explain all of the additions I've done and everything. Well, actually, let's start since Mart wasn't here yesterday. Motherfucker was enjoying the swimming pool. Lucky bastard. But yeah, so let me explain how NavMeshes work in general, and then all of the little things I've added basically to them. Okay, and it's all gonna make sense. Okay, so let's save everything. I love this, the red ones. Look how they take turns to jump from one platform. Yeah. Okay, so the way NavMeshes work, it's that it's kind of like a zone that you create, which the AI, like the NavMesh agents, right? If I click on, let's say, the test dummy here, the NavMesh agent component is using the NavMesh, like the NavMesh areas, right? Again, as bad later. Yeah. So basically, it's using these areas in order to pathfind, right? In order to move and stuff like that, right? And basically, the way it works, like again, if you want to see more, if you want to watch it more into detail, watch yesterday's stream. I think I explained it fairly well there, but the how can I say, like the big summary of it is that you can create a bunch of different nav meshes and apply them to a bunch of different surfaces, right? So here, as you can see, we have like a blue one. Here we have a pink one. Here we have a green one. Here we have another blue one. But this blue one and that one are not the same. Just by the way, they're not the same. And the idea, generally speaking, okay, is that as you can see, the AI are using the NavMesh to find their paths, right? And yesterday I made it really basic, right? Yesterday all I had was the wall, this platform that we didn't really use, but I just used it to show one of the ways in which we can set up NavMesh surfaces, right? And then we had yeah, like this little ramp and platform, basically, okay? And the way that the NavMeshes work, here we have the navigation thing. Here we can create different NavMesh agents, and they each have their own parameters, right? So this is like the height of the step, right? So if I increase it, if I lower it, etc., right? Like that. Here we have the actual height of the NavMesh agent, right? Here we have its radius, you know, etc. Here we have the name in the list here. Here we have the max slope that you can control, right? And here we have like the jump distance, drop height, stuff like that, right? So actually, here let's select a basic enemy, and let's do jump distance too. Let's see if it's going to modify all of my existing ones. Okay, inspector. Let's see, player, movement, stopping distance, blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, actually, let's see. Let's test it out, right? So basically, in the NavMesh agent, you can modify the parameters of each NavMesh agent, or rather of all NavMesh agents of that type, right? Okay, there you go. Come on. Oh. Okay, there you go. All right, yeah, it's more or less working. Okay, so now if I click here, okay, I can jump that way. Okay. Hold on. Okay, so now, yeah, so now you kind of, okay, now I understand it more. By the way, sorry if I made your, no, it's fine, it's fine. Like, don't apologize. It's fine. It's just that I don't want to waste you guys' time repeating something that I explained better than I am explaining it now yesterday. Because the thing is, yesterday while I explained it, I demonstrated it live, right? Like I built these NavMeshes live. So that's why I said like it's better for you to look, because I'm not gonna like delete the whole scene and make it back up again. You know what I mean? So that's why my current explanation is a little bit more abstract, but yesterday's explanation was better, right? So either way, that's how it works. And I only really showed the basics, which was yesterday, which was how to set up NavMesh agents, how to make them move in a very basic way, right? Using my AI navigation script, which look, it's a tiny script. It's not even 50 lines of code, right? It's literally like, here we have the player object, right? Here we have a detection range. And then it's literally like, okay, calculate the distance between this, which is the enemy, let's say, or whatever, and the player. And if the distance is equal or lower than the detection range, then set the destination to it. And because we're doing it every frame, that's what allows the enemies to constantly chase the player. If we only did this on one frame, it would act the way our player jump thing is working, where like you just press it once and now you can't control it anymore, and you have to wait for the player to reach the destination, right? And then otherwise, so basically if you lose track of the player, reset path. Very simple, right? But then here you could set another destination to maybe another game object that is whatever, right? That's at a specific path or whatever. So you remember the tower defense tutorial I did where I had like some very shoddy and like it was very ghetto the way I did it, right? But like basically the AI pathing, the way I did it, I basically created a very ghetto like do-it-yourself NavMesh, right? Using different nodes. Well, you can technically do the exact same thing. Like for instance, any game like the Dishonored games, right? So hold on, let's go back here and let's do Dishonored walkthrough. Let's say, sure. Hold on, let's find return Lady Boyle sprite. Okay, hold on. Okay, so you see how these characters, these NPCs are like walking around, right? Like if we're looking at them, they're like a patrol. Basically, they're patrolling around, right? Well, this is done using NavMeshes, and it's simple. If this game was done in Unity, okay, the way you would do it is you would have, oops, no, not this, paint. Okay, you would have like a list of game objects, let's say, right? And it's like object 1, object 2, object 3, object 4, object 5, and object 6, right? And literally all you would do is just move from one point to the other, right? Like that, right? You just move from one point to the other, right? And then in the AI, you can say if like player detected equals false, right? Player detected Boolean equals, oh, Jesus Christ, right, Herring. So if player Boolean, if player detected Boolean equals false, then patrol around. If let's say the player is detected, well then chase after player, right? So that's kind of that's kind of the idea, right? So exactly. So I basically showed the really basic way of using NavMesh, right? And now a few slightly more interesting ways of doing it. Okay, it's like having these obstacles here. Okay. Yeah, so we have obstacles here, we have the platforms. Now we already saw how we can move, like how we can make NavMesh agents jump across the platforms. But the thing is, as we saw, they're kind of just moving in a straight line, right? So usually you need to integrate, kind of like what ChatGPT did, like with its first suggestion, kind of like creating a custom-made parabola, right? Which is basically going to make your character, it's going to make your character like jump. So right now the way it works is like that. The parabola would basically be like that, right? It would be like a jump, basically, right? But that we have to do it manually, and honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I'm not gonna cover that because it's not simple, but it's not complicated, and you can just ask ChatGPT to help you do it. Or you can go to the Unity tutorials themselves, and they have a script that kind of does it for you, right? So you can just take the script that Unity itself has given you. I haven't downloaded it, but basically when you go into the project manager, okay, if we go into Unity registry, let's wait for it to load, and we go here into AI navigation, and samples. If you import the samples, it's going to have a script that can take care of that, basically, right? But the idea is, so here I messed around a bit more, okay? So what I did, where is it? Okay, here. So this NavMesh here, it's a NavMesh of type volume, right? As you can see here, it's of type volume. So everything that is inside of this volume is getting a specific nav mesh, right? So as you can see here, this platform, almost all of it is actually receiving the nav mesh, right? So if I were to click on this, right, and make it 20 by 20 and move it like that, right? And then click on this nav mesh, bake. See, now it has baked this nav mesh surface. And then if I click on this one, the volume one, and I click bake, see, now it has properly baked like about half of it, right? Now, if you remember correctly, in order to create nav meshes, you can either like right click, or here in game object, it's the same thing as like right clicking here, right? If you right click here like that, or just click this, left click this, you go to AI. Once you've downloaded the AI navigation package, right? You go to here AI, and here, if you click nav mesh surface, it's going to create a nav mesh surface object that you can then use to create more nav mesh surfaces, right? We're not going to do that. Here, NavMesh modifier volume. Okay, you can create a NavMesh modifier volume here. Let's say this cube here, right? As you can see, basically this cube here, okay? And here it's area type, okay? So, okay, yeah, so here it's a volume. Here it's affected agents all, okay, sure, all. Actually, let's make it a bit larger. Okay, like that, basically. Okay, perfect. And now what I'm gonna do is just say not walkable. Okay, like that. So now when I click on this and I do bake, okay, hold on, and I click this and I do bake. Okay, there you go. So you see what happens now? Now that I created this modifier volume, now this part here, because I set the modifier volume as not walkable, right? Now it has created, basically it's a modifier. So it's like a 3D space in which all, what are they called? All nav meshes are affected by it, basically. Different baked NavMesh surfaces could be used to produce alternate routes, right? Exactly, right? That's another example, okay? So let's go back to here, AI, NavMesh link, okay? So now I'm gonna show you how to use NavMesh links. Okay, so here we have a NavMesh link object, okay? Like that, and here we can move it around. But what's important is not the actual object itself, it's here the two links, okay? The two connectors, okay? So first things first, here in the on the right, in the NavMesh link component, we have agent type. So this is which agent type should be able to use this NavMesh link, right? Right now it's at humanoid. We're going to put it at basic enemy, which is the NavMesh that the red capsules and the player capsule are using, okay? So then let's do this, and then area type. Area type has to be enemy area, which is the pink here, right? The bubblegum pink area, right? So now once we have the enemy, the agent type, I mean, and the proper area type, then what we do is we can select either of these two orange cubes here, right? Like that, and then we move them around, okay? And now look, here, there's nothing around the cube while I'm moving it. And now when it gets here, there's going to be a red circle like the one here, okay? A blue circle, I mean. See? So what this blue circle means is that it's now connected to a nav mesh, okay? So basically, if there's no blue circle around it, it's not going to work properly, okay? And I manually set it up close to the nav mesh, but I mean, technically you can keep it super high up over there. I'm not sure if it's actually, yeah, let's keep it high up like that just to see if it makes a difference, right? And then we grab this one here and we place it like that right here, or yeah, let's put it high up as well, just for shits and giggles. Okay, like that. Okay, and now here, okay, the start transform, transform whose world position specifies the link. Well, whatever. These ones I haven't used, but here we can see the start point and the end point. Okay, I'm not sure which one is which. But let's, here in bidirectional, let's uncheck bidirectional, okay? So what this means is if enabled, agents can traverse the link in both directions, right? So for instance, here, if we select this link here, okay? Here in between platforms, it makes sense for enemies to be able to jump between platforms. But here from this big platform here to the ones below, it doesn't make any sense, right? So here, if I uncheck bidirectional, okay, what does it show? It shows that actually now AI can only jump from the ground to up, right? But we want it to be the opposite way, right? So all we're gonna do is here, you click the swap button and it's gonna swap the endpoint and the start point, right? So here, endpoint, a local position where the link ends, used only if end transform does not reference any object. Start position, blah, blah, blah. So now we do swap. See, and now we just swap the coordinates basically, right? And so now here we can see that the arrow, right? This arrow here is pointing this way. If we click swap again, sorry, see now the arrow disappeared. If we click bidirectional, now both have an arrow, right? So let's unselect, uncheck bidirectional, swap. Okay, perfect. Let's click here, this one. Let's click bidirectional. Okay, this one is also wrong. Okay, perfect. Let's click this one. Bidirectional. Okay, this one is also wrong. Okay, and now let's select this one here. Okay, like that. Bidirectional. Okay, this one as well. Okay, perfect. There you go. And this one we're gonna keep bidirectional. Okay. And so now, hold on, boom, like that, okay. And so now, now this should work. And now let's test out this part here, right? Just to show you guys how neither the player nor the enemies are going to be able to like leave this area here, okay? That. Okay. Oh, okay. Hold on. Come on. Okay, there you go. Oh, come on. There you go. Come on. Oh. Nope. Okay, let's move this way. Like that. Oh, come on. No. Motherfucker. Okay, there you go. Okay, well, it's probably not properly detecting any of my stuff, but whatever, right? And as you can see, every time I tell it to go back up here, it goes all the way back to the platform and stuff, right? Like that. Come on. Okay, there you go. Oh, come on, follow me, you bitches. No! Oh my god. Okay, there you go. So now it's going back here. Jesus Christ, it's sliding so hard. Okay, okay, come on, come on, come on. Come on, baby. Okay, there you go. Okay, there you go. Okay. And now if I click here, yeah, there you go. Okay, anyways, so the idea is, hold on. Okay, hold on. Have I set this one up? Enemy area, blah, blah, blah. Oh, wait, or do I have to bake again? NavMesh surface, bake, maybe. Let's see. But anyways, you guys kind of get the gist of it, right? Okay. Oh, or wait. Is it because the links are too far? Ooh, that might be it, actually. Let's see. Aha. Like that. Okay. Let's press play. Okay. Oh, fuck. Come on. Oh my god. Ah, there you go. Ah, never mind. Fuck. Okay, fuck it. Fuck me, I guess. Oh, wait, no. Oh, okay, no, yeah, it's because it's not. Okay, hold on. I know why. It's because this thing here. Ah, la la, I'm stupid. Terrain. Player interaction, just like these. Terrain, yeah, oh yeah, it's because I hadn't set it up properly. Okay, so right here like that. Let's save. There you go. Yeah, so now it should work. Jesus, I'm stupid. Honestly, Mart, I would say, as a rule of thumb, always assume something's going to be impossible, but don't, how can I say, like, try it despite assuming it's going to be impossible, right? Because oftentimes what's going to end up happening is that you're going to have created such a big narrative in your head of like, oh my god, like this is like impossible, or like this is so difficult, blah blah blah, that then when you get it working, you're going to be like, holy shit, this was like way easier than I thought, right? Okay, there you go. Yeah, so now it works, right? So now, hold on, there you go. Oh, interesting. Okay, so now we can kind of move almost. Okay, see? So I'm trying. Okay, no, never mind. Okay, so I can basically move more or less everywhere here. Okay. Come on, bitch. Okay. All right. So now, as you can see, the way I've coded the jump thing, it's basically just it's like right-clicking in a MOBA. It's the exact same thing, right? So like if you wanted to make a traditional MOBA game where you move your character by right-clicking around, it's literally, hold on, it's literally this piece of code here. Hold on, where is it? This here, except instead of spacebar, it's going to be a mouse button one, basically. And instead of like having a cooldown of like it's jumping or whatever, it's just whenever you right click, it's gonna happen basically. Yeah, exactly, Mart. That's exactly it. Yep. Okay, and so now this is how you do like jumping and you link NavMeshes and stuff, right? And now here, these things here, okay? If I press play, I'm gonna show you they're updating the NavMesh in real time, okay? And I'm gonna explain to you guys how they work, okay? Oops, fuck, yeah. Jesus, okay, there you go. Let's save everything. Let's press play. Okay, so you see how the NavMesh is just getting updated in real time, basically, right? So let's pretend that like whatever game you're playing, these are like walls of fire or some shit, right? That's why they're able to go through one another, right? Well, basically the idea would be that enemies, so if we go here, right? Hold on, here, like that, right? So you see how the enemies are avoiding these walls, basically? Hold on, and us, the player, we also can't move through them either, right? Actually, let's stand in the middle. See, now the wall is pushing us, basically. And now let's see. Oh yeah, there you go. and it automatically like push this out basically. Yep. See? And so the way you get this to work, okay, it's where are they? Okay, obstacles. Okay. So let's select any of these. They're all just copy pastes of the same, right? And here you add a NavMesh obstacle component to it, right? So if we do add NavMesh obstacle here, okay, and you have the shape, either it's a box or a capsule, whatever, okay? And then here it's like the center, the size, whatever. I put everything 1, 1, 1, whatever. And then the really important part is you check carve, okay? If you don't, so see, I unchecked carve and now nothing's happening here, right? And now if I click on carve, oh, all of a sudden it's happening, right? But the reason it's happening is because I unchecked carve only stationary. If you keep carve only stationary checked, only at the scene creation, okay, let me press play and you're gonna see, basically this obstacle is going to be moving, right? See? It's moving, but it's not carved or whatever, right? Now, if I were to uncheck, right? Look, let's get a better look at it here, okay? Now I'm gonna uncheck it. Boom. Now it's checked, unchecked. See? So that's it. That's literally it. That's how you make obstacles work with the NavMesh. It's really, really that simple, basically. And yeah, and like, again, if I were to grab this, okay, and let's say, boom, like that, and like that, okay. So now I twisted my entire thing, okay, all the way like that, okay. Okay, and now let's move our player character. Player character. Like that. Nope. Minus 90. Like that. Okay. Now let's see. Let's see if it's gonna work. Okay, well, there you go. It more or less works. See? So now we're technically walking on the wall. All of this is like vertical, basically, right? If I were to look at it like that, you see? There you go. Okay, yeah, whatever. You get the idea. No, but you see what I mean? So like this system, I think, like, having worked with the old version of NavMeshes, it's super intuitive now the way it is. It's super fun to use, and you can do a lot of cool stuff really quickly, basically. He's truly rolling now. Yeah, exactly, right? So what else? I think that's more or less it, honestly, with NavMeshes. At this point, the last thing missing with NavMeshes would be to incorporate animations into it, but then that goes more into the animation types of tutorials that I would have, right? And for those tutorials, yes, this is all news to me and it's amazing. Yeah, no, honestly, NavMesh it's super fun. Like, if I wasn't making a 3D sci-fi strategy game where it's basically just spaceships in space, I would probably be making something like this, right? And a cool thing, another cool thing that you can do, right, is that you can, let's say you're making a stealth game, right? Like, hold on, let's go YouTube. Hold on. Hold on, let's see stealth. Okay. Let's see. Stealth. Come on. Where's their grass? Is there grass somewhere? Aha! Okay, so right now he's like in the grass or whatever, okay? Once enemies spot you... Okay, fuck, hold on. Okay, there you go. So now he's hiding in the grass or whatever. I'm gonna play spaceships in space. I think it's more fun. The writing is also better. Exactly. I was gonna ask about stealth game. Yeah. So the way they would, like, this is one way, right? There's like a million different ways of doing it, right? One really easy way of doing it, not even using NavMeshes, it's very simple, right? You create some sort of cube, right? Like a cube like that. And let's say you disable the NavMesh obstacle component, right? And then you add some sort of script that basically says like, oh, when the player is inside, undetectable, right? So then in your AI navigation thing, it's gonna check if player is stealthed or whatever. Like, don't do this, right? Like, chase player only happens when certain conditions are met, and like one of those would be player is whatever, right? Something else you can do is, let's say there's some terrain, like, I don't know, like you're in a swamp or something, right? Or like you're in water, basically, right? So there's a river, right? Like, let's pretend that this blue thing here is water and the river, and the pink thing here is like grass or whatever, right? And you're running away from the enemies, and when you enter this section here, you can have, again, some sort of collision box like this that detects when the player is in water, and it's going to tell the enemies like, oh, the player is in water, so they're going to avoid it. But something else you can do is literally just not even do that. Just have the player walk into this area, and then the enemies are going to check the area cost, right? And if the cost is too high, they're just going to run around the water, basically, instead of chasing you through, right? But then maybe you can have some sort of really big enemy that doesn't care about the water current or whatever, and he's going to chase you across the river, right? So in that scenario, let's say you as the player are running away from enemies, and you want to cross the river. You start crossing the river, all of the small enemies start circling around, right? To get you, but then the big enemies just keep chasing you through it. You see what I mean? So you can do a lot of cool stuff very easily with that stuff, basically, right? So yeah, so that's generally how hold on. There you go. So that's generally how you can use NavMeshes to do a bunch of cool stuff. And that's pretty much the end of today's live stream. One thing I'm gonna do, hold on, it's Unity NavMesh tutorial. Nope, not this. This is 7 years old, and this is the really old version. It's these ones, okay? This one here. Okay, NavMesh basics, okay? Again, 11 minutes. So I would say this one here and this one here. Literally those two. So 21 minutes total. 21 and a half minutes, okay? Exactly 21 and a half minutes, actually. It's literally all I needed in order to show you guys all of this, basically, right? That's all I needed to watch. So I'm gonna put them in the Discord server in Game Dev Resources here. Okay, hold on, give me a second. Like that. I'm gonna do like that, and like that. There's a third video where they're showing you how to do like flying enemies, but it's not a real way of doing flying enemies. So that's why I only put these two. Yeah. Well, from now on the streams are probably going to be much quicker, just because I'm kind of running out of things to show you guys, right? And as I said in yesterday's stream, things are the things that I have left to show you guys are getting more and more technical, right? Like we're not in the general stuff anymore. So that's kind of why now I'm taking like two weeks in between game dev streams in order to give myself time to prepare the more technical stuff, right? And to be able to give you more concise tutorials. And the thing that came to mind, and that I think I'm gonna be doing, but not anytime soon, probably after I've released my game in early access, is that once I'm done with all of those game dev live streams, which I have no idea when that's going to be, but eventually, obviously, it's going to be over, right? What I'm going to do is, on my own time, I'm going to go through basically every single thing that I've shown in all of those live streams so far, right? And I'm going to synthesize like all of the different things I've shown, the different game mechanics, the different ways of coding, everything like that. And I'm going to try and make small videos, like 5, 10, maybe 15-minute videos, where I show how to do certain things, right? So like, okay, this is how you do for loops. This is how you do while loops. This is how you do whatever, right? This is how you do NavMeshes. This is how you do a grid system. This is how you do whatever, right? So that way I'm thinking that at the end of the streams, if you want like a very summarized, synthesized version of those live streams, I'm gonna have another playlist of actual videos of game dev tutorials and stuff, right? But again, that's not gonna be anytime soon. First, I want to release my game in early access, and once that's done, and also I need to finish all of the game dev streams, which I have no idea how many there are gonna be, right? And once we're done with that, then yeah, I'm gonna make those videos and stuff like that, right? So yeah, so that's the plan. Oh fuck, I forgot to show you guys to actually go through the code itself. So let me show you guys that, and we're gonna end on that, okay? So the way it worked yesterday is I had the player WASD movement manager, okay, which was this thing here, which we use the rigid body, the player RB, which stands for rigid body, in order to move the player character around and do a bunch of stuff, right? Now, what I did before today's stream and what I kind of finished at the end of today's stream was this thing here, which is basically the player NavMesh movement using WASD. So just like in yesterday, we're using the axes. This one is for left and right movement. This one is for forward and backward movement. And then if the magnitude is greater than 0, it means the player's pressing WASD basically. Then here it's detect the movement direction based on the forward of the player directions object, which is just the player camera object in my case. But if you want, it can be its own object that is programmed, okay? It's programmed to always have the same position as the player object, right? But it doesn't rotate with it. It only has the same position, which means that when you press W, you're always going to go in this direction. When you press S, you're always going to go in that direction. When you press D, you're always going to go in that direction. And when you press, so W, S, so, okay, W, A, S, D, basically, right? And then here, we take current player position, which is the player movement object, which is the object that has the NavMesh agent on it, right? So basically we calculate, okay, where is our NavMesh agent? And this is the target position, which is basically our NavMesh agent's position plus whichever direction we're going to be moving. So if the player is pressing W and D, they're going to be moving in this direction, right? If the player is pressing W and A, they're going to be moving in this direction. If the player is pressing A and S, we're going to be moving in this direction, etc., right? So it calculates this, and then navmesh.sample position, blah, blah, blah. It's basically kind of like a raycast, but for the NavMesh. And it's like, yeah, so here I wrote ray hit, but it's not really, yeah, no. That's not a good way of naming it, actually. We should just name it hit. What the fuck? There you go. So here, NavMesh hit, right? Basically, this thing here is what's used in order to determine whether the player is like has a destination or whatever. And here in the navmesh.all areas, what this means is that this thing is going to work regardless of which NavMesh surface we're on, basically, right? And regardless of which NavMesh agent we have, I think, right? So actually, let's test this out, right? So here we have the bubble pink, bubblegum pink, I mean, which is the area for the basic enemy, right? Let's change this to player agent, okay? Which means that in theory it should not be able to use this NavMesh, but let's see if it's gonna work. Considering we clicked all areas. Okay, there you go. So now it's not working. Okay, there you go. So this confirms that we do need to be the proper NavMesh agent, basically. Okay, that's good. So I'm not sure. Oh wait, no, again. So this basically, it's just for all areas to say that it's gonna detect any area type of NavMesh. But again, the NavMesh agent is programmed as a basic enemy, so it's only going to be moving in the area that basic enemy can be affected by and stuff like that, right? Okay, and then here otherwise, right? So if the magnitude is below or equal to 0, which means that the player is not, there's no player input basically, well then just reset path and that's it, right? And then for the jump stuff, player jump, super simple, just set destination and then do is jumping is true, which means that as long as which means that the player WASD input only works when is jumping is false. You know what I mean? So that's how you make a combat system similar to the one in God of War 2018, basically, right? So yeah, so that's the end of today's stream. I hope it's been useful and informative for you guys, and probably so not next weekend, not on the 9th or 10th, but around the 16th and 17th of August, I'm gonna try to be ready for player animations. It shouldn't be too difficult, but I haven't done it in like 4 or 5 years, so I'm really rusty. So that's why I want to take my time to like learn it properly and do everything properly, basically, you know. So yeah, so that's that's today's stream, and yeah, I'll let you guys go. Again, if you have any questions, any comments, watching, I'm pretty sure everybody here is already in the Discord server, but just for the sake of habit, right? Old habits die hard. I'm gonna try to put the link up if it lets me. All right, there you go. The link to the Discord server, which is really useful if you want to have access to a lot of the resources that I typically link, right? And yeah, that's it. Again, thanks you guys for being here. Thanks guys for watching my personal stream last night. That was fun. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Take care.